Welcome back to Double Nickel. So yesterday I took PTO to mow the lawn. Not for vacation, not for a trip, something exciting I wanted to do, I really look forward to. No, I had to take a little PTO to beat the rain. That was the goal. And you know what? I ended up wet anyway. I didn't beat the rain, and I finished the yard as the rain came down on me. And so the image in the thumbnail that you see is from me standing there in the garage, looking out at the yard I had just finished, wet, soaked. And it occurred to me that one of the things I look forward to most about retirement isn't necessarily just the travel, which I've talked a lot about in these videos, and I do look forward to that, by the way. It's not that, it's not just that I want to be away from work. I'm not really after that. It's not it at all, really. It's more ownership of my time and recognition that I'm ready for a different pace of life. So what I want to talk to you about is what I perceive as the hidden exhaustion of scheduled living. Some things that I think about when I talk about the hidden exhaustion of scheduled living that weigh upon us and that we're probably not even really aware of until you stop and think about them and consider freedom from those things, is the constant calendar management. If you're still in your career, you have a time to report in, time that you're expected to work until. And if you're like me, you've got a calendar full of meetings, Teams meetings, Google Meets, Zooms, in-person activities, etc., right? We all got those. And any one of them in isolation isn't really a big deal. We've all got obligations and things. That's normal. It's just life. One at a time, they don't feel that heavy. But when you start to add them up over the days and the weeks and the months and the years, the decades, and eventually a lifetime of those, you start to feel the collective weight of them. And it feels disproportionate, the response that you may have or the reaction to it. Kind of like the reaction I had standing in that garage. Wasn't really angry, wasn't really frustrated, just a coming to terms of this has just been life for a while and soon it won't be. Calendared, scheduled living won't be the rule of the day anymore pretty soon. It'll be the schedule and the calendar that we develop, my wife and I think there's a weight, and I don't know if any of you can resonate with that out there. Any of you that are watching this maybe feel that same thing. I had a conversation with my boss the other day. He's a pretty influential fellow. He's a vice president in a Fortune 500 company. And he said, "Hey, you notice something about people who retired from here?" I'm like, "What is that?" He goes, "You never hear from them again." And he mentioned it like kind of a detox. PTSD. Now, I don't think it's unique to the company I work for, the biker. I don't think what we experience where I work is something in particular. I think it's just corporate life. I think it's something that anyone experiences who has a high demand job, or really any job. The schedule begins to accumulate on you over the years. And what that looks like is weather, for example, dictating weekends or events or your plans disproportionately. I mean, it rains on all of us, whether you're retired or not, right? But until you're retired and before you're retired, you've got to work in those activities that you have planned around the weather with the openings that come with your schedule. You want to go float a river or take a hike or ride your bikes like those people just did that came by me. It's cloudy and it looks like the rain's about to come in again. They need to get that finished. Record this video. I need to get this finished before it starts raining on me again and I end up soaked all over. We all got a plan around it, whether we're tired or not, but the open windows of opportunity to do those things around the weather, it becomes more limited. And of course, chores get compressed into these narrow windows as well. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you just mow the lawn on the weekend? Well, I went to a graduation and I decided to go on a hike, which is a whole separate topic that I'll talk about later. But we went on a Saturday on a pretty day in May, and the trail was as packed as a sidewalk in a small city. I didn't particularly enjoy that, so looking forward to hiking on Mondays and Thursdays, things like that. So I did that. Then I was tired. Admittedly, I should have taken care of it on Sunday, but I did a lot of other things. I went to church, and then there were some other chores I wanted to take care of, things like pressure washing around the house and so forth. Got all that done. I just didn't feel like mowing. And then I was really worn out on a Monday and crashed. And now it's Tuesday and the rain's coming in and the grass is growing and I've got somewhere else to be this coming weekend that prevents me from mowing then and putting it off. So you know what? Take some PTO and go mow the yard. Take care of that chore. There's coming a day. There'll be a lot more flexibility for those things. What it really means is that when you're working, you got a full-time job, you got a career you're dealing with, you're living more reactively to things around you than proactively or intentionally. You're confined to the opportunities you have. That's just a function of the reality. It's not a bad or a good, it just is. So standing in that garage is one of those moments that my anticipation for retirement, it really ramped up, it increased. And it was a moment of realization that, man, there's gonna be a day before long, next year in fact, when if I have to mow in the rain, that's my fault. I didn't plan very well. So as I talk about all those things, you know, working in your leisure activities, chores you have to do, working around weather, planning your time off and what you want to do, your fun activities. And sometimes from the necessities of a career and a job, you extra feel maybe, you know, you're aware of and more keenly aware of the weight and the gravity, the accumulation of years of I've got to be there by 7:30 and I've got a dozen or so calls on my calendar today that I start with. Some of them will get canceled, some of them will get moved, new ones will get added, switching from topic to topic. The accountability of all that. And whatever your job is, you've got your own stresses. It's not like I have the only stressful job in the universe, let's be real. But there is an accumulating toll of it all, I think, and you have moments and experiences where that becomes more acute, and that was me yesterday. So I want to importantly point out, though, retiring isn't about getting away from something. I mentioned that earlier. It's not about doing nothing. It means mowing on Tuesday morning instead of racing home, spending a couple of hours of paid time off to mow on Tuesday afternoon and get caught in the rain. Or, like I said, hiking on a weekday instead of trying to do it on a weekend. Taking a leisurely bike ride on a random Tuesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Traveling slower. I'm not sure my wife's totally bought into what I'm looking forward to, but this slow travel that I'm talking about, I want to be able to sort of get the vibe of the place that I'm seeing. Go to the coffee shop, go to the local coffee shop. You know, I love Starbucks as much as the next guy, but visit some local places. Spend a little extra time there. Don't be in a hurry. Talk to the people. try to get a sense for the place. That's going to be so cool to me. Not just the physical place, I love that, but what do the locals know about it? What can they share with you? What are the little hideaways and secret places they know about that they can direct you to? I'm sure there's going to be some curious and interesting and cool personalities that I'll run into doing that. Do that stuff during the week and then commute from place to place, make your move over the weekend when everybody else is in the rat race, rushing out to the park to get the hike in on a Saturday. It'll be laundry day for me and moving from point to point day for me. If it all works out, that lingering longer to fully take a place in, that's what I'm looking forward to. Kind of interested in choosing rhythm over urgency. I think what it kind of comes down to, the whole point of this, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. I'd love for you to share your experiences, recognizing that now, the way things are, it's often hurry up from this to that, even when it's supposed to be fun. Feeling the pressure of the calendar, of the clock. Instead of being able to just have a rhythm, a pace of doing things as they come and enjoying them, taking them in. Looking forward to that. I wish you'd share in the comments if you also are anticipating retirement in the same way I am. Like, do you feel that sometimes? Does the urgency of life sometimes make you long for a little bit extra, the freedom to own your time and your calendar and your pace in the future? Maybe you've already been through this and you've already went through those final months, and you got some encouragement for those of us that are in those final months. I've got some reasons, and they're valid, for continuing on. Got some things I want to finish at work. Not irresponsible. I do want to finish some things out, pass on some knowledge, set people up for success that I care about, and kind of leave on my terms. Would hate to face something where I was pushed out. So that's important to me. And there's some financial milestones and reasons that making it into early next year matter a lot. So that's what's going on with me. But man, standing in that garage, looking out in that rain, you can kind of see it on my expression. And I didn't intend it that way. I captured that picture actually to send it to my boss and my team that works for me. So I didn't quite make it. I think they probably got a kick out of that. But for me, it was not at them, but it was just kind of a frustrating thing that, tried to squeeze too many things in, and look what happened. I got soaked. Maybe you got a story like that. Something that happened to you when you were on your way. You were nearing retirement, and you had one of those moments that resonated with you like that did for me. Owning your time. That's a pretty cool thought. I'm looking forward to it. Well, hey, like this video if you enjoyed it, if you stuck with it this long, if you've made it through 14 minutes, maybe subscribe so these future videos will pop up for you. You can go on this double nickel journey with me, 55 years old double nickel. We'll see where it leads us. Until next time, take care.